Hey, welcome to the 40 Finance channel, everybody. My name's Jeff Beers. Today we're going to look at Wish stock, also known as ContextLogic Incorporated. And I chose this stock today because it's been on a little bit of a hot streak lately. And there's a lot of swirl around this company in terms of momentum and the fact that it trades under $20. And to be honest with you, it's one that I've considered buying in the past, and I think it's been on a couple of my videos in the stocks under $20 that I've done in the past. So dig into Wish, look at the good side, the bad side, and some things to think about before you invest in it. Reminder as always that my stock picks and projections are just my opinion for your entertainment. Please make sure you do your own research before investing. However, if you like going deep on stocks like ContextLogic and many others, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like. Thank you to everyone for your support. All right, so we'll kick things off on the investor relations page for Wish, and you see some of the stats that they are touting. This is a company that did $2.5 billion in revenue last year, 34% year-over-year growth, over 100 million monthly average users, which grew 20%, $2 billion in cash, 550 merchants, 50,000 local partners, and 100 countries. Now, if you're wondering what Wish actually is, this is a website. It's primarily a mobile app, but for this demonstration, I'm just doing the website. And they sell a lot of inexpensive goods. So sort of like imitation luxury watches, different types of jewelry. And while I haven't purchased anything from Wish, I have poked around the site. And if you do decide to sign up, you'll notice that they have a lot of different sort of incentive platforms. They have these grand prizes that happen, which is basically a sweepstakes if you buy something today. Another incentive that you'll see across the site is little coupon codes for you, so 50% off. With this promo code was one that showed up for me. They also have these blitz buys where you can get bonuses on certain products. So very incentivized as far as when you log in and get on here, they do everything they can to get you to push the button now. Okay, so some of the things on the bull case for Wish is obviously growing incredibly fast, impressive revenue numbers, absolutely for sure. And the fact that they sort of gamify shopping and they have all these different incentives to get people to keep buying things, not to mention the marketplace itself is pretty much full of cheap product. This is the kind of shopping app that's definitely skewed towards a younger audience, arguably a cost-conscious / thrifty audience as well. And it's also a lot of impulse purchases, and that's sort of their calling card in their algorithm. It's not so much that you go to Amazon and you were looking at sprinklers and they just show you nothing but sprinklers. In this case, they're trying to pique your curiosity with items. So they're showing you a lot of different things across different categories, to try to see if they can get you to push that buy button. The other thing you got on the bull side is just that this is an international platform. So I will say that I think 40% of the revenue comes from US and another 40-ish% comes from Europe. So they're really trying to get the stranglehold on those two places first. But you got merchants from all over the international world. They also have an advertising program for merchants and a logistics program for merchants where you can essentially, ship pallets of your stuff to a warehouse partner. And by paying for that service, you are able to get your product quicker to the customer who buys it. All right, so is this a poor man's Mercado Libre? Is this a poor man's eBay? What's the opportunity here? And I think with Wish, the most important thing to understand is that their core business is in trinkets and cheap items. So you have to keep that in mind at first. This is also a price to sales ratio type stock. So I don't believe profitability is coming up anytime before 2023. We'll take a look at that in a second. And of course, with any e-commerce stock, you're always going to have the risk of, site outages, fraud type activities, stolen login information, things like that. So you do need to have some faith in the company ContextLogic that they are running a tight ship in regards to those things. Now, for me personally, when I decided to dig a little deeper into Wish, the first place I went to was the App Store. Now, I have a Google phone, so I am in the Google Play App Store here. And you can see at first glance, 13 million ratings at approximately 4.5 stars. Those kind of metrics certainly look promising at the surface. But one of the reasons that I decided not to purchase this stock was really the reviews. And if you go in here in a little bit more detail, you get a lot of stuff like this. I've ordered several items on Wish. Their descriptions are not clear on the sizes. I've had to get refunded because things were promised by a certain date and I never received them at all. There's no customer service, blah, blah, blah. And you come down here, solid 2.5 stars. All of the ads are misleading. Pay attention to size, details, and shipping information. Every item is smaller than the photo. Let's see. I really like Wish and have bought from the app a few times. I would give it 5 stars, except for the fact that they do not keep the tracking of packages up to date. And as you keep going down, one thing that you're going to see time and time again is that people are missing the packages that they ordered. They believe that the product descriptions were misleading, and those that do say that they received their packages, it actually took them over a month to receive them in a lot of times. All right, so the app reviews, that's really just my metric, and it's just kind of an eyeball thing as an American user, like what are other people saying about the app? The fact of the matter is, though, that Wish is printing money in terms of sales. So let's dig into the stock and see what kind of upside might remain for Wish. All right, here's our full year-to-date chart on Wish. I'm not sure about the volumes here, why they didn't show up till May 14th or whatnot, but it looks like this stock kicked off about $19. You can see the 50-day moving average is going down fairly substantially, and the low appears to be about $7.76 on June 7th. Now, since that time, it's had some increase in volume, and here today, you're actually up 20% to $13.50. All right, taking a look at historical valuations, we've only got a couple quarters under our belt, including Q4 of last year, and obviously you're not profitable, so you don't have any PEG ratio or PE ratio. So again, this is a price to sales story. You were at 4.3x back in Q4. That dropped as low as under 1 at the end of March, and then today you sit at 2.5 times. From a balance sheet perspective, trailing 12 months, this company has generated almost $3 billion. They said on their website they have about $2 billion in cash and cash equivalents. And one thing that's certainly impressive is this debt line with only $48 million in total debt. Looking off to short percentage of float, as of May 28th, they were sitting at 15.75% shares shorted out of the float. All right, let's take a look at what analysts are projecting ahead for this stock. And here we have the fiscal years labeled out. December of 2021, the EPS estimate is negative 44 cents. That is still a year-over-year growth of 78%. And you've got a low of minus 56 and a high of minus 30. Heading into next year, that EPS estimate drops to only 10 cents under profitability, and that is another 77% growth story. Then, if you look ahead to December of 23, you start to talk about EPS profitable at 30 cents. The only catch with that is we only have really 3 analysts who are making that projection that far out. And by the way, we've only got 4 and 5 who are making any sort of projections over the next couple years. On the price to sales side, let me scroll this over. For 2021 year end, $3.32 billion. That's year-over-year growth of 30%. December of 2022, $3.81 billion. That's a growth of about 15%. And in 2023, you're getting up close to $4.5 billion. That's a 17% increase. So if you are using price to sales on a forward level, there's no arguing that this multiple is attractive, certainly compared to some of the other e-commerce stocks that are out there. All right, taking a look at TipRanks, seeing what the best performing analysts say. Our most recent updates came in last month, whether that was a press release or an earnings call, but you've got 2 buys and 2 holds. The buy side says $23 to $24, whereas the sell side is coming in at about $12, which is actually $1.50 away from where we sit right now. All right, so is Wish stock a buy in my opinion? As a long-term investor, I can definitely see some of the bull case for this stock, and you have to make the assumption that they improve on some of those customer reviews with people not receiving their shipments. If this stock picks up momentum just because of its price range of being under $20, if it turned into a meme stock or something like that, then it certainly has room to go up to $20 or so, and you could still make the fundamental argument for it because the price to sales ratio is still so low. I also like the fact that they basically have no debt and almost $2 billion in the bank. The real catch for me, though, is those customer reviews on the USA side and the fact that they're just sort of selling little trinkets and fake jewelry, as well as, $5 watches and stuff like that. None of those things are expected to have a lifespan very long, and I just don't know how long you can keep pushing those products, watch them arrive late, and then inevitably break. I would say the value for customer looks pretty good. You're buying fake things. It only costs $2, $3, $5 for some of these items, but what do you really expect? How do you expect them to perform over the long term? And I just don't know how many folks are going to keep letting things break and or not show up and return to the platform. So from my perspective, if I was going to buy Wish, I'd probably want to see it back under $10 again. And I'm just not sure that it offers the best opportunity compared to other e-commerce plays out there that are much more stable. If we had a dip in the market and Wish went back down to $7.50, other e-commerce stocks fell as well, I'd be more inclined to just add to my position with Etsy, just knowing that they have a lot more positive reviews and momentum within the marketplace sector of e-commerce. All right, guys, so that's my take on Wish stock, ContextLogic. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. We'll see you on the next video.